Okay guys, here's another welding project for the Homestead. I'm just, if you're a homesteader, you're always building things as well. Should have bought a Plywood Carrier a long time ago. There's a lot of different versions of them. You could probably have one delivered to your house from Amazon in a couple days if you wanted to. I totally forgot about it at Sunday morning. I need to move some plywood today, so I'm just gonna make one real quick. It's real early in the morning. I was gonna run this welder off this generator just so you could see that, but my family's still sleeping. And the house is kind of close to the garage where I'll be working, so we're just going to build this right here in the garage with a little welder here. So we're going to take it off the cart there and set it up. There it goes. Okay, so this angle is 1.25 inches, but this is 1.25 inches in here. Now this is 1 inch right here, flat. Okay. And I want to be able to put a piece of 3/4 inch plywood in here. I don't want it to be a super tight fit though, but this is just a little bit bigger than 3/4, right? And so this on the inside is just a little bit bigger than 1 inch. So this is going to be perfect. I want a little bit of wiggle room. So we're going to measure this out at just 12 inches right there. We're just going to measure a couple little pieces for this about the same height. So here on the bandsaw we were cutting a 45 before. Let's go ahead and make this down to, slide this over to a 90. Let's drop this in here. And this does not have to be accurate, but we want to make sure that it's... I don't want to make this too heavy either. So... Of course, there's lots of ways to cut steel. You don't have to do it like I'm doing right here. I'm just using this old bandsaw. This is about 10 years old, I think. You can also buy a portaband. This one's from Harbor Freight, and this is really, really nice because it doesn't make a bunch of abrasive dust. They put it on sale for 99 bucks, I think. So that's really nice. That's just a little portable bandsaw. It's 120 volts. Of course, you can always use a cutoff wheel like this. And that's really efficient. It does make abrasive dust, so you want to do that outside or in a well-ventilated air because you don't want to breathe that stuff at all. Or you can use a hacksaw. And there's other ways to cut. Let's get this traded out for this one. And these cuts, these don't have to be super accurate. This thing is, I'm not producing this, I'm not selling it. I just need something to work today. And hopefully something I can keep using. And with my back getting bad, I don't want to stress my back a whole lot. If I can make things that'll now I want to make this custom for my height. Okay, the little plastic ones that come from Amazon or that you get at the hardware store, those are like 15 inches long, and they're, if you have to bend over some to pick it up, that's fine. I want to make this where it's custom built for my height, for my carry height, so I can bend over the minimal, pick it up off the ground, and just carry it just a few inches off the ground. I don't want to carry this real high off the ground, which has its advantages, right? If you carry it real high off the ground, you'll be able to traverse, uneven terrain, or if you're stepping over boards or your construction site, it's nice to have it higher. This one, I just want to build it right now to carry over flat ground. Most of my walking, I'm carrying plywood or I'm carrying drywall or whatever. I'm just walking across my property here and it's pretty flat. So I just want to be able to pick it up the minimal. Just use a tape measure to figure this out. So my standing height, where my hand's going to hang down here, where my hand's curled, like would be curled around a handle, is going to be right there. And that's 28 inches right there. Okay. So I want to be able to carry it about 4 inches off the ground. So I want to make this about 24 inches long. And I might find that might not be enough, but it's not a big deal. I can cut the metal, make it shorter, weld it up in just a couple minutes and be done. So we've got this piece. We've got these pieces that'll go here, basically like that. Okay. And then this is the rod I'm using. This is going to be plenty strong, I think. And I want to be able to weld it right here like this. So that's going to be good for my height, I think. The ones that you buy from the hardware store, the little plastic ones, are 15 inches tall. and this is going to give me a few more inches here, which hopefully will make a difference in my, so I don't have to bend over quite as far. Let's try it. Okay, now for my handle, I don't want really something this small for carrying that much weight. This will be a little bit better. This is actually hollow tubing, so it won't be as heavy as solid steel rod. So let's go ahead and use this. I need something that I'll be able to get my knuckles around and put my fingers on each side of that. So maybe about that long. How long is that? 5 inches. Let's do that. Perfect. So we're going to weld this to this. We're going to weld this to this. Like that. And then we're going to weld these tabs on right here. My original plan was to not use this angle, but was to use just a piece of flat, weld it right here, and then weld my tabs on here and here, right? And then that would keep it even lighter, because this weighs a little bit more than twice what this weighs, right, at 12 inches. So, but I worried that, you know, a 60-pound sheet of 3/4 inch plywood would bend this, and maybe it wouldn't, maybe it would do just fine. But this would work because this would capture the back of the piece of plywood, and these tabs would capture the front edge of the plywood, and then it would be pretty light. But, you know, when you're talking about a 60-pound sheet of plywood, I thought, well, it would be nice to have a plastic one of these because it weighs almost nothing, and sometimes every little pound seems to count. But, you know, if this is going to add 1 or 2 pounds, but I can carry it easily, I think this is going to be real advantageous, and it's going to be custom made to my height. All right, let's get it welded up. Now, don't forget to always clean your metal, because you'll just get a better weld by far. Okay, and I like using a flap disc. It doesn't dig out the metal quite as much as the grinder disc does, and it also cuts faster than a wire brush. So it's kind of a good compromise. And these are on sale often for $1 something at Harbor Freight. So, and this isn't the greatest brand. They don't last as long as the commercial brands, but they're super cheap. And I beat the heck out of them. I just abuse them. So. And again, see the black, you know, you can see it's gray there and the black stuff. So that's the mill scale. So you want to grind that off till it's nice and shiny. We got a nice shiny spot there for our rod. Got a couple of shiny spots here, so we can butt these up against that right there. And we've got some nice shiny metal to weld to, right? That's going to be good. Okay, it's mostly straight. Okay, let's find out what kind of size of steel we have here. So it's not 1/8 there. It's 10 gauge. It's definitely not 3/16. So we'll go with 10 gauge there. And 10 gauge is right between 1/8 and 3/16. Then we'll go over to our chart here and look, and it says 10 gauge is basically 1/8, and it says wire feed speed 8.5, heat range 8.5. So that's what we use. Okay, so then we'll come to our welder, and this is the voltage, and so we'll set that to 8.5. That's the wire speed down there, and that says 8.5 right there. Let's try that. Look what happened. It got the metal so hot that it bent it, but we can straighten it up here. Now for this piece, I really didn't want a bunch of weld inside of here because I want my plywood to slide right along there and drop right in here without catching on anything. So I'm going to weld this here and then grind it off. Well, I'm going to do a little bit different technique. Instead of running a bead along here, right, or making my E's like this, or my sawtooth pattern coming back and forth, or making E's, cursive E's, right, I'm just going to stitch weld it. So I'm going to start here and build the heat and then drag it across here, hold it there for a second, and then stop. I'm gonna make another one there, one in the middle, one there, and one there. And then that's probably what I'm gonna do on the other side as well. So this will be a little bit different technique. I could try turning my heat down and making the cursive E's, but I don't want a whole lot of buildup here, so. Now we can take the flap disc and smooth that out. That'll be pretty smooth. That shouldn't catch on the plywood. So again here, I'm just going to start the heat on this and then drag it down to the plate. I'll start up here and then just drag it down and make 3 or 4 just stitch welds right here. Maybe make 2 or 3 right here. And you want to be careful, especially right there, because you don't want that melting through and then making that super weak again. Okay. Oh yeah. Seems to be pretty straight still. Okay, let's try it again. Okay guys, this has worked pretty well. You know, my welding's not good. There's a lot of porosity there, and I'm not sure why. I cleaned the metal really well. But it's holding, and it's strong enough to hold. And that's the whole point. If I needed to weld it over there some more to make it stronger, I would. I don't need to do that. This is plenty. I'm carrying around 60 pounds with this. So this was a good little project. Took about 30 minutes to weld up, and you know, it's holding together well. I'm gonna go ahead and soak it in phosphoric acid and paint it, and I'll probably paint it a bright color. I'm paint almost everything black just because that's what I have, but I'll probably get a red or an orange just so I can spot it in my garage when I need it. Because this isn't something I'm gonna use every day, but this is something at my age now I wished I had bought or started using a long time ago. You know, when you're young and you're strong, you don't think about your back, but when you're young and you're strong and you keep abusing your back by lifting heavy things and doing things that you probably shouldn't be doing, if I had a tool like this when I was young and I was smart and I would have used this, my back would probably be in a lot better shape now. So that's why I'm making this Save My Back video series, just because when you get to be my age or older especially, and your back's not working right and you still want to do stuff and you still want to build stuff, it's super frustrating to not be able to do the things you used to be able to do. So take care of your back early. Use things like this when you can. Sometimes you won't be able to, or you won't have this tool available. You have to load your plywood at Home Depot or whatever. But if you have this tool and you can carry your drywall, that kind of thing, with something like this, it'll make a big difference in your longevity and your ability to work for longer years. Okay, so again, I'm going to make this part of my Save My Back video series. If you haven't seen that, check that out. There's a lot of like logging and firewood management and stuff like that. Might make a big difference, might help you out. Check it out. Okay, good. Let's just see how much this weighs. And it's on pounds. 1.6 pounds. So is that heavier than the plastic one? Yes. Is it longer than the plastic one? Yes. And I do like that about it.